Hello and welcome to my review of the Necrons Deathmarks. Now this box set will set you back £25. You used to be able to get these Deathmarks in a Necron Start Collecting box set, which contained no less than 5 separate units. Incredible. And it used to only cost £50. It's still a decent kit, £25 for 5. You've got an option there to build Necron Immortals, which are the bigger, beefier versions of Necron Warriors. They're still troop choices, but that's what they look like. So you have a choice of either these or the Deathmarks in the background. It's a shame in a way because they're both quite decent looking models that you have to pick one or the other. It means that, you know, it will typically mean that the next box that I get will probably be the Immortals again, and that means I'll be missing out on these awesome looking Deathmarks. The only downside about Deathmarks though is that the legs and the poses suit the Immortals more than the Deathmarks themselves, with the exception of you know, the Deathmark running there or jogging. Anyway, let's have a look at the detail straight away. I haven't got the spare parts with me anywhere because it was such a long time ago, but you get the gist. You're going to have lots of you're going to have all of the Immortal heads left over, and lots of Gauss blasters and lots of Tesla carbines remaining, but pretty much the carapace is very similar, except for, you know, the extra spinal piece where you've got the translocation device there, and the carapace orbs are a little bit different, but the legs and the hips are the same, so are the chest pieces, but everything else is different. So yeah, that brings us neatly to have a look at some of these, some of the detail. Again, they do look a bit strange. As I said before, the legs suit the Immortals more if you're going to build them like that, but they're still quite cool looking units, quite top heavy. The synaptic disintegrators look amazing, and they've been bumped up with the rules. They're a decent unit now. But anyway, that's one of them. This is another, probably a little bit better pose, that one. This one is very similar. I think it's in kind of almost the same pose as that one. Then this one, this is kind of like firing from the hip, maybe an Overwatch kind of shot going off. And then this one is probably one of my favorites. He's just jogging along, looking down at something he's probably just wiped out. Okay, so I can't show you the spare parts, as I said, but you do get a huge amount in one of these kits. Let's do some size comparisons. So of course that's the Immortal. It's going to be exactly the same height, same bulk, just the Immortal is carrying a heavier weapon. The Necron Warrior, they are, I want to say, pretty much the same height, but again, look at the armour. The armour is thicker, the carapace on the back is covered more, the spine is covered. They're just bigger, beefier overall than the normal standard Necron Warriors. So we'll put that one there. I've got a Scorpec Destroyer for some reason, maybe, right here. So as you can see, that's where they hold up. But I think one of the most useful size comparisons is maybe with one of these Hexmark Destroyers, which they're kind of a similar model in terms of the white coloured heads that they'll have, and even the weaponry, sort of. But I can see these working very well. I can also see these Hexmarks going well with the Scorpec Destroyers. But that's where they kind of stand. They're a little bit bulkier than your normal Warriors, but the same height, and obviously, you know, a bit shorter than the anything from the Destroyer cult. Comparisons with the Imperium models will be right here. So you've got a Primaris Marine on the right, Slime Arbo in the middle, and then a Legacy Space Marine on the left. As you can see, next to a normal Space Marine, they are a little bit taller. They are taller, but compared to a Primaris, they are just a little bit shorter, just a tiny bit shorter. Yeah, so they work quite well. I'm not sure whether Games Workshop will bother releasing a new kit, a new designed kit of Deathmarks to make them just a little bit taller or the same height as Primaris. they didn't really do that with the warriors. They're almost the same height anyway. So there you go, that's all the size comparisons I wanted to make with these Deathmarks. Let's disintegrate into the rules part of my review. They are an elite choice. I kind of always thought that they were a heavy support choice, but they are elites. In a way, Necrons have lost a heavy support choice in the form of the monolith, but they are still but these Deathmarks are still counted as elites. Their power points cost is a 4, and they're a points cost of 18 points per model. The unit contains between 5 and 10, so that points cost was for 5. If this unit contains 6 or more models, it has a power rating of 8. Every model is equipped with Synaptic Disintegrator. That's all they're equipped with, nothing else. So their stat line reads, they're a movement of 5 inches, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 5, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 10, and a save of 3+. How does that compare to an immortal? Well, it's exactly the same stat line, except they only get 1 attack, but their ballistic skill is better at 2+. The main reason you'll get them is the Synaptic Disintegrator. It's a range 36 inch, heavy 1, strength 5, AP -2 and damage 1. Each time you select a target for this weapon, you can ignore the Lookout Sir rule. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage. They are mortal wound inflictors. Their weapons are heavy though, but because their ballistic skill is 2+, that's going to negate the subsequent handicap for firing and moving. Essentially, they've got an effective range of 41 inches there. They're great for picking off targets at medium to long range, and they're an added threat with those wound rolls of 6s inflicting the mortal wounds. Abilities, reanimation protocols, command protocols, dimensional translocation. So again, they're one of these units that can kind of deep strike in your reserve phase and set up more than 9 inches away from an enemy opponent, from an enemy unit. The keywords is Necrons, Infantry, Core, Hyperspace Hunter, Deathmarks. I love that word, Hyperspace Hunter, it's brilliant, isn't it? I would have liked to have seen them have at least 1 extra ability. Something in terms of targeting protocols, or something where if one of them is attracted to your presence, then all of them improve their ballistic skill somehow. I mean, or maybe ignore cover save, or I would have liked to have seen 1 extra ability other than the standard ones that are listed there. Although in a way you could argue that the Synaptic Disintegrator has that special ability for that weapon that you'll only find on this unit. I absolutely love them. I'm about to go and spray them and paint them along with the Hexmark Destroyer. That's how much I love them so much. The only downside is, of course, the poses aren't the best, and their poses do favour the immortal unit more than these Deathmarks. What do you guys think of the models and the rules? Please do put it in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The flesh is weak.